Hello, welcome to a short reflection for today, the 27th of November, Advent Sunday. Today, in many of our churches, and all of our churches, we lit the first candle on our Advent wreath. And tonight in our district online Zoom worship, we focused on the first Sunday of Advent and the resources provided by the Methodist Church for this Advent. There is room for you and for me. We're travelling through the book of Proverbs this November, gaining wisdom for life. And we're in chapter 27 today. There are 31 chapters, so we'll get through them in the next few days, ready for the 1st of December when we start an Advent series to take us through to Christmas Day. But for now, Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27 has 2 or 3 verses in it that I think are almost like Proverbs that we do hear people say from time to time. Verse 1, never boast about tomorrow. You never know what a day may bring. It's kind of don't put off till tomorrow what can be done today. Don't look too far ahead because you never know what's around the corner. Wisdom says live for each moment. Live for today. Live for now. Don't be too anxious about tomorrow, says Jesus. Don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has enough troubles of its own, but just here and now, Jesus says, seek first God's kingdom and God's righteousness, and everything else will be added to us. Don't focus on tomorrow. Live for today and make the most out of today. Let others praise you, not yourself, says verse 2, not your own lips, but someone else's. I also noticed later on, verse 21, the smelter for silver, this is the version I'm reading, the smelter for silver, the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. We've had this phrase before in Proverbs around the refiner's fire, refining gold, refining silver. But I found this phrase interesting, that human beings are tested by their praise. Perhaps who we praise, who we give our attention to, who we worship. A smelter for silver, the furnace for gold, but human beings are tested by their praise. I wonder if we are tested by our praise, how we're doing. Even when times are tough and situations are difficult, as St. Paul shows us in his letters, to praise God in prison at midnight, to praise God in a shipwreck, to praise God when our life is being threatened, to praise God at all times. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice, says St. Paul. A smelter for silver, the furnace for gold, but human beings are tested by their praise. Well, may we prove wise in who we worship, how we worship, when we worship. May our praise be sweet to the Lord. And then the final little section, verse 23 onwards, says, well, look well to the state of your flocks, be careful of your herds, for riches do not last forever, nor wealth from age to age. Again, this is about good stewardship, stewarding well what we've been given, because we never know what's around the corner. That's certainly been true, hasn't it, as we've seen this cost of living crisis and global factors and international and national factors mean that sometimes everything we've built up can disappear quite rapidly, and we can't take wealth or riches for granted. So let's look after our flocks, let's tend to our herds. I guess many of us don't have flocks or herds, but tend to what we have, take care of what we have. Everything we have is given by God. So there you go, just 2 or 3 verses that particularly leapt out at me. Never boast about tomorrow. You never know what a day may bring. Human beings are tried or tested by their praise. And look well to the state of your flocks. Be careful of your herds, for riches do not last forever, nor wealth from age to age. Remember, Proverbs has taught us that more valuable than gold and silver, more precious than herds and flocks, is wisdom, understanding, knowledge provided by God. Well, there you go. happy Advent Sunday. Happy 27th of November. If you're from Lancashire or live in Lancashire, happy Lancashire Day today as well. Join me tomorrow when we look at chapter 28 of Proverbs, Wisdom for Life. Good night. God bless you.